Okay, I think we can get started. It looks like most people are here. Welcome to From Theory to Practice, how to integrate AI into your everyday workflows. Before I jump into this session, I want to give a quick intro on what everybody can expect from pretty much the next hour or so. So we have 3 sessions. Our first one, we're going to be covering transforming workflows and looking at how AI can really revolutionize everyday marketing, but really more with practical applications that you can start using right now. Our second session, we're going to be joined by the wonderful people at Google to talk through their AI tools and what's next for Google in AI. And then finally, we're going to be chatting through how AI is reshaping the creative process. Before we get started, I do want to say, I know AI is a new topic. There are a lot of questions around it. We are going to leave some time for Q&A at the very end, but feel free as questions come up as we're talking to chat those questions into the little chat box right away when they occur to you, or you can wait to the end. We'll save all of that and go through all of that at the very tail end of the webinar. So let's get started with our first session on using AI to transform workflows. I want to quickly introduce 2 of my colleagues, John Biano and Jackson Richards. But before we get into it, John and Jackson, would you mind just quickly introducing yourselves, who you are, your title, what you do, etc.?
Sure. I am Jackson Richards, VP of Strategy. I head up brand and growth strategy at Direct Agents.
And I'm John Viano. I'm the Director of Client Solutions. I mostly work on new business development, and yeah, been with the agency for 7 years and excited to be talking to y'all today.
Awesome, thank you guys. Okay, so I want to kick it off with Jackson, just chatting with you really quickly. We're talking about AI today because it's really all anybody can talk about, right? If you read any articles, go to any conferences or events, AI is really at the forefront of all of this. So can you just talk really quickly about how Direct Agents has been thinking about AI, how we've been using AI, etc.?
Yeah, thanks. Look, the topic of AI, it's pervading every conversation today, it feels like. And for good reason. There have been a lot of developments in AI technology over the last year, in particular, that's making real impacts in the marketing, advertising, business landscape. But there's definitely also a lot of noise. Everyone is scrambling to figure out what's real, what's just hype, how they should be leveraging AI, how we as their agency are using AI to help grow their businesses. You know, our partners are asking me virtually on a daily basis at this point how they should be thinking about adopting AI into their marketing practices. And for many of us, particularly here at Direct Agents, using AI is nothing new, really. AI tools have been around in the marketing and the advertising world for a long time at this point, but certainly there have been major advancements in the last 12 months, particularly in the realm of generative AI like Bard or ChatGPT or Midjourney, or the tools that seemingly seem to come out every day. So we've constantly been surveying the landscape, monitoring developments, and thinking about which applications of AI are going to help us grow our clients' businesses. In some cases, that means we've identified a problem or an opportunity without an existing solution, and we've had to build proprietary tech from the ground up. In other cases, it means that we are curating an agency tech stack of best-in-class tools to activate for our clients. And then other times, for certain workflows, we're just using the same tools that everyone has access to, like ChatGPT or Bard, and just trying to use them in really savvy ways. But really the end goal is it's always the same. It's how can we be more efficient, and how can we deliver better results for our clients? So my goal really for this first session here is to provide insight into how we're using AI tools and platforms in different workflows across the agency, and hopefully provide some concrete examples for the folks in our audience of how you can implement AI within your organizations and marketing teams. And considering that we have 3 sessions in this hour, we're not going to go super technical or get into the nitty-gritty of implementation. Really, the goal is to demystify some of this stuff for you and hopefully pique your interest and adopt some of these practices with your team. So if there's anything that you want to learn more about, please reach out to us so we can continue the conversation on that particular topic. So we're really using AI in some fashion, more or less, across all areas of our organization. So while any one workflow doesn't necessarily fall neatly into a single category or agency department, I'd say we're best leveraging AI in the following areas. One is creative and content generation, and we have a dedicated session on this topic just a little bit later. So we'll go into more detail on that then. The others would be research, strategy, and planning, data analysis and insights, performance media optimization, and written content. Written content is something that we'll come back to in probably our next webinar, but those are the key areas.
I just realized you couldn't hear me for that last one, so I apologize, but you knew the question I was going to ask. You can hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay, great, perfect, thank you. Yeah, no,
okay,
great. So you can't have a webinar without some tech issues, in my opinion. It just doesn't make for good viewing. Okay, so thank you for giving that outline. So I want to start with you talking through the research strategy and planning part. So I know this is really, for most people, this has been very historically time consuming. It's a really manual process. So can you just talk about some of the ways that you're using AI to make this more efficient, make this a little bit easier, a little bit of a lighter lift for brands?
Yeah, so whether we're preparing to run a performance media campaign or we're developing a go-to-market strategy for a new brand or a new product, most of our projects involve a deep research, planning, and insight development process. Essentially, we need to know who our best fit customers are, who the competitors are, what are they doing, what opportunities do we have to grow market share within the competitive set. So I'll first talk about audience insights and customer segmentation. And this is an area where we use a mix of proprietary tech, enterprise tools like Helixa and GWI and Resonate, and then even things like ChatGPT or Bard. And audience tools, are nothing new. I think everyone's used audience personas like in their marketing campaigns, right? But advancements in AI have really made them more powerful and allow us to identify untapped audiences for customer acquisition a lot faster. Historically, from my experience, most customer segmentation would end up really just being like demographic segments. And while it's useful, it really isn't all that powerful. And now when we're using tools like Helixa, we can analyze, well, it is analyzing billions of data points about how people interact with brands and interact online. And we're able to really determine deep psychographic and lifestyle segments and how each of those segments use different products or services, what are their use cases and needs. And we can even drill down and understand what types of marketing content different segments respond best to, whether it's video or text, what is the appropriate type of imagery and tone of voice. And ultimately, these insights are used to power our overarching strategies, from website copy to creative and brand direction and campaign targeting. And here's an example. We can typically, when we're bringing a new product to market, we're going to run focus groups to get insights from potential customers about what they want, how they make purchase decisions. But it's historically been a time-consuming process to run the session, analyze the responses after. But now we can use tools like Remesh, which we can run focus groups digitally, and the AI analyzes and finds trends in the responses in real time, which we can then use to drill deeper into specific lines of questions within the same session. And ultimately, it just saves time and gives us better data. And really, at the end of the day, the more we know and the faster we know about our customers and what they value, the more we can, the faster and better we can build strategies that allow us to command a higher price point, drive customer loyalty, and hopefully scale market share.
Yeah, I really like how you're thinking about that, and it ties really nicely into that second point, which is the data and customer analysis. So could you talk a little bit more about how we've been able to do or think through customer sentiment and how we've been able to make pivots based on that sentiment for, you know, live campaigns or future launches, etc.?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that all of us at DA, we're data-driven marketers at our core. You know, we believe that better data can help us make better decisions. But that also means that we spend a lot of time analyzing data. And I'm sure that that's something that a lot of folks in our audience can relate to. And, you know, of course, performing the analysis is never the end goal, right? What we're really after is the insights. But now we can use AI to gain insights a lot faster and make decisions more quickly. And what we're finding is that they're impactful decisions. So there are dozens, there are dozens of ways we're using AI for data analysis, but I'll give you a few clear examples. And I'll start with one that anyone who's here on this webinar can try this week. So first, using Bard or ChatGPT to quickly analyze some simple market sentiment. So as marketers, we always want to know what our customers and broader market are saying about us and our competitors. It's valuable to, you know, get that actionable information, but sometimes it can take a while to gather. And now we can download comments on social posts and ads. So from a platform like TikTok, let's say, we can take those comments on the posts, input them into Bard or ChatGPT, and ask the tool to uncover trends or keywords or recurring themes in the feedback. And it all happens instantly. And then we can use those insights to inform our decisions around marketing, targeting, even product decisions. So that's a really, you know, simple, straightforward way that I think anyone can try. But here's another example that leverages some of our own proprietary technology. A lot of our clients sell on Amazon, and actually a lot of our clients are Amazon first brands. And we know how important it is to optimize your storefront and marketplace presence, right? Your Amazon storefront is comprised of so many different variables that all impact performance, from the product titles and descriptions, A+ content, imagery and video, pricing, and the list goes on. What our proprietary Amazon AI technology allows us to do is optimize the entire marketplace presence with pretty crazy speed. So the AI tracks every single change that is made, whether it's a price change, a product description change, really to any of those variables, and in real time provides insights into how those changes impact sales velocity, organic ranking, sell-through, profitability, bestseller status, other metrics. So we're using AI to take what was once a process that required extensive data analysis and longer tests and made it more or less automated. And the result for our clients is that their e-commerce storefronts are optimized faster, which simply just means more sales.
Yeah, I think that is an obvious like win for many of our brands. When we think about AI, we think about performance, but I also really love what you talk about with the sentiment, consumer sentiment. I was talking to a brand and we were going through how we do this type of analysis, and they said when they tried it, they really uncovered some really interesting things, right? Because you think, this is how my brand is perceived, this is what consumers think of my brand, and you sometimes live in your own echo chamber of, here are my brand values, here's how everyone thinks of my brand. But then when you ask some of this AI, you upload your data with comments and everything like that, you get a very different picture and a very different story, and thinking through what is the brand value and the brand message I want to put out to the world versus how are people really viewing our brand, and be able to do that same thing for your competitors and make those real-time decisions to like course correct, which I think is really great. So we talked a little bit, you talked a lot about performance, especially with some of the AI that Direct Agents has in house. And one of the things I think, like I said, our clients really love is using AI for performance. And when I talk to a lot of brands, that's really where they're most interested in learning more about it right now. There's great things, obviously, for efficiency, which can drive performance, but I want to dive into this part a little bit more. Can you just talk about some of the AI that Direct Agents is leaning into, just to ensure that every dollar that's spent, every dollar that we get of our clients goes a little bit further? Like, what are some of the tools that have been really successful?
Yeah, so I want to be clear. A lot of the advancements that are taking place in AI when it comes to like performance marketing or just kind of digital ads in general are happening at on the platform level, like at Meta and Google, whether it's in automatic bidding or AI-driven audience targeting. And we work with our clients on all that stuff, but we're going to go into more detail on that in our next session with Google. But what I want to focus is more in some of the unique tech that we've developed in-house, which we call Canopy, which works across our paid Google, Facebook, Instagram, and Amazon campaigns, where we call it share of voice. But overall, we call the tech Canopy because it sits on top of the platform algorithms. And obviously, those algorithms are amazing. There's a reason why everyone advertises on Google and Meta and why it's so effective. But on those platforms, typically everyone is playing with the same tools. And so we wanted to create something that gave our clients an advantage. And what Canopy does is we built custom automated data pipelines into these platforms where we use AI to analyze all of the different campaign data points from keywords to creative and messaging and targeting, and it all goes into our learning model. And essentially it identifies the optimal tactics and levers for hitting our specified KPIs based on what is happening in the market at that particular moment. So no opportunities are wasted. And for our clients, the KPIs are typically focused around hard metric goals like customer acquisition. And Canopy really allows our campaigns to be more effective and drive better outcomes in that space. We often see like up to a 30% CPA reduction while maintaining or expanding acquisition scale. Mm-hmm. But it also frees up more time for our analysts to do that strategic work, because Canopy is not only automating the analysis of the data, but it's also connected directly to the platform, so it can adjust the appropriate levers in real time. And then also we're using Canopy AI to deliver optimal media mixes and performance forecasts for our clients. So more traditional media mix modeling tools can be, they work to an extent, but they can be slow to output recommended media channel allocations and only look at large historical data sets. But where Canopy really shines is that the AI can quickly collect and prepare campaign performance data and then transform it and give really custom recommendations on optimal media channels, customer journeys and conversion paths, day parting, while also forecasting the impact of different media plan scenarios on bottom line performance. In this case, this isn't necessarily something that you can build in-house and implement, and take away, right away. But of course, if Canopy is something you're interested in learning more about, like in how we can help scale your performance media campaigns, let us know, and we're happy to continue that conversation.
Yeah, and that's something I know, as I've spoken with marketers, one of the challenges of MMM is they feel it's too slow, it's more, backwards looking versus more forwards looking. So the AI has really helped us be able to make that more instantaneous, more real time, which has been really obviously exciting. Okay, John, I want to pivot to you quickly before we run out of time and have to go to our next session. So that's the marketing lens, right? That's all the stuff that we're doing right now for marketing, and it's our job, so we need to be doing that. But we're all just business people. We're all professionals, and you've been doing a lot of work on just how to create efficiencies in your daily workflow to provide more personal bandwidth and better output. Right. So can you just talk through a few of the things that you've been using AI for that have personally saved you a ton of time, top 3, top 5, whatever it is?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, to your point, I've totally been nerding out on, all the different AI tools that have been out there and that have been coming out over the past 6 months. And I'm quickly realizing that there are so many different ways that you can use these tools to automate some of the day-to-day tasks that you're doing, or at least make the process a little bit faster or more efficient in some way. So taking a step back from the marketing world and just like looking at the overall business world, anyone within business, how can you use some of these AI tools to make your life a little bit more efficient? So I've realized there's 3 different categories outside of generative AI. There's 3 different categories, and it's really research, it's content data analysis, some quick content data analysis, and finally just automation, day-to-day automation. So let's start with research. The way that we've been trained to kind of research over the past 20 years has really been just, you ask Google a question and Google is going to give you a series of links that you can click on and look through to find the answer to your question. Now, to be fair, those links have always done a pretty good job of having the answer to your question, but with AI coming into the picture, that process is evolving, and it's evolving quickly. And the way that it's evolving is that now you're basically having a conversation with the internet, right? So think about your experience with ChatGPT. If you ask ChatGPT a question, it's going to directly answer your question. The one limitation with ChatGPT is that it has data only up until 2021, versus there's some other alternatives like Google Bard or my personal favorite, Perplexity, that has access to the full internet and even gives you or provides links to where it's pulling that data from. So just to show you kind of an example, and Sammy, you can kind of play the video here. Let's pretend that we're a cosmetics brand that is doing some competitive analysis. We want to look up what Supergoop is all about and what they're doing. So the first question I ask is, tell me about Supergoop, and it gives me just kind of a synopsis of the brand, their top performing products, and as a follow-up question and this kind of conversational feel, I said, what digital marketing have they done today? And it literally answers my question. It gives me different strategies, different channels that they use, different tactics that they use. And then I can click out onto the link where it's pulling that data from and get more information if I wanted to, right? And there was a full interview, an hour-long interview with their CEO where they're talking about the different marketing tactics that they've been doing over the past couple of years. So I think it's just, the way that we research now is that much, that much more faster, and also, we're able to get more accurate information that is, basically kind of a conclusion of all the different, links that are out there, and all the information that's out there. So that's definitely been an area of efficiency. I think another area of efficiency, if we can go on to the next slide, is some quick content and data analysis. So I don't know if you've all heard, but ChatGPT just launched something like Code Interpreter, and there are dozens of different tools out there that can, read and interpret PDF documents. But this is ChatGPT's native solution. It's called Code Interpreter, and basically you can upload everything from a PDF to a raw CSV or an Excel file and ask questions about that data. If we play the video, you can see here I pulled a just demo data of campaign performance to date, and I'm able to get that CSV file and just directly upload it into ChatGPT and just start asking questions about it. And I said, first, tell me about how the CPA has been performing year to date, and it even creates charts. It visualizes the data for me. I asked it to do the same for ROAS. And from there, I just started asking, like, hey, what was the best performing months? What are some other general insights that you can pull from this? This in no way is going to replace, Power BI or some of the reporting that you're getting from a digital marketing agency. But if you're looking for some quick answers, some quick analysis, or if you have like a textbook that you're trying to ask questions about, you can upload this information now into these tools and ask questions and have a natural conversation about it. For those of you who don't have ChatGPT Plus or don't subscribe to the service, there are a lot of other free alternatives. I've also been using Claude AI by Anthropic, which is also super powerful. And yeah, and then going on to like the final, area of efficiency, and that's day-to-day automation. And really, this has been around for a really long time, but I feel like I personally haven't been able to wrap my head around it until it incorporated some ChatGPT features and natural language models. And so basically, what these no-code automation platforms are able to do is connect all the thousands of different applications that you work with on a daily basis. So think Gmail, Google Calendar, Slack, Pipedrive, Salesforce, whatever application you're using, and automate different processes across those applications. So what's really cool is that now they've incorporated this ChatGPT feature where you could say, hey, I have a specific thing that I want to automate, tell me how to do it, and let's make it happen. So if you play this video, this is just a very quick example. I said, listen, anytime my brand is mentioned in Twitter, can you send a Slack to my marketing team? And I just put that in there and it told me exactly how to do it. And honestly, all I had to do was log into my Twitter, log into my Slack, and it took care of the rest. So, this site has thousands of different templates that you can use. Some cool ones that I saw is you can upload a video to your Google Drive and use ChatGPT to interpret it, and then create different posts for all the different social media platforms and optimize for those media platforms. So you'll get a different post for LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever the case may be. For more lead generation, if you have a lead that comes into your landing page, you can send a Slack to your sales team. You can set up an account on Pipedrive, and you can also automate the process of sending an email to that contact, looking at my Google Calendar and asking, hey, when's the next time that you're free? Here's my availability. So all of these different automations and different tools is really meant to just kind of just carve out a couple minutes at a time. Maybe you're saving 15, 10, even 5 minutes a day on these tasks. And if you could save 5 minutes a day, I mean, I think that's going to add up over time. I think the challenge that I have for all the viewers today is just think about what are day-to-day tasks, what are week-to-week or even month-to-month tasks, and just go to ChatGPT and ask, hey, is this something that I can automate? And it's more likely that you can. And again, if you were able to save that time, I think this webinar was a success. So that's all the time I have for you all today. With that, Megan, I will turn it back to you.